Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Fireside Chat edition of Eat the Buckle, the horror movie battle royale podcast that normally puts two movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup. But this week, we're doing something a little different, and by that I mean I, Jared, am doing something a little different because gone are my two faithful co-hosts, Josh and Aaron. They have left me in the lurch, told me to get bent, and frankly, I'm a little busted up over it, but I said I will persevere. I will continue to bring the funk to the funkless, and I will give you a special episode just with me. So sit back and relax for the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'll keep it brief, but we wanted to give you something. But I kid, of course. In reality, it's just hard to get three grown men with busy lives and work and wives and, to coordinate their schedules to watch two full-ass movies and then carve out another 3 hours on top of that to record the podcast. And it's hard to coordinate that. So, sometimes you're just not going to be able to do it. And we decided we'd take a little bit of break from the regular release schedule, which we will get back to for sure. And I think we said May 1st. That may change, but it will be soon. It'll be here before you know it. But this is just a little nibble, just a little taste, a morsel to tide you over until we can get back to your regular full course buckle eating, baby. So bear with us. This is just a little treat till we can get back onto the regular schedule. And for now, I miss those two gentlemen. I miss their beautiful faces, but we'll see each other very soon. So what I'm going to do today is just go through some movies that I've seen that are either still in theaters or recently released to streaming that we otherwise would not get to in the format of our podcast because logistically it just wouldn't work. To that point, the first movie I'll talk about is The Woman in the Yard. This is currently still in theaters, I believe, in streaming as well. My wife and I watched it a few days ago on a rainy Sunday. Figured why not? Looks kind of creepy. Let's go for it. This is a Blumhouse movie, which I remember a time when Blumhouse was a name of quality. They have released in their early days movies like Oculus and Get Out, and I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but there was a pretty good chance that you could see a quality movie when Blumhouse first came out. They still put out some crap, but Megan is a good one that comes to mind. And every once in a while these days a good one will squeeze through, but I'd say it's a better bet than not that you're going to get a really bad product with the Blumhouse stamp on it these days, and Woman in the Yard is no exception. This movie was, and I'll try to keep these brief, and I won't give any spoilers, given the recency of the releases of these, just out of respect for you folks. Normally we're talking about movies that have come out 50 years ago, so that's on you, but if there's spoilers for you. But so I'll, out of respect, keep these brief and hopefully spoiler free. But this movie, Woman in the Yard, was a boring mess of a movie. It's one of many in the trend now of every horror movie seems to be an allegory for trauma. A woman dealing with trauma that manifests itself in a spook or a specter or a ghosty or a ghoulie, if you will. And in this case, it presents itself as a woman in black shrouds who sits in a yard and stares at a house for a good hour and 20 minutes. And you're just kind of waiting for a big reveal to see this woman. And you eventually do. And I will just say it is lackluster at best. The scares aren't scary. It is, they're there. There's supposed to be scares there, but it is not at all a scary movie. It's PG-13. Probably could have been PG. I don't know where 13. Maybe there was language in it that didn't stand out, but pretty pedestrian, goreless, scareless movie. And on top of all that, it's confusing. In the last act, even like the last 15 minutes of this movie, they just throw in this asinine, I don't even know. It's just a mess that makes no sense. My wife and I, when we were done watching it, when the credits were rolling, we both were just like, what the fuck was that? What did we just watch? And I think we're both pretty intelligent, average to above average intelligence. And I'm usually pretty good at figuring out like the subtleties, the metaphors and the hidden messages and meanings in movies. But this one, I don't even think it knew what it was trying to say. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give you, here's a spoiler warning. The only one I'm going to do on here. So give yourself, if you don't want to know this spoiler, if you're planning on watching this movie, give yourself a 10-second pause right now. I'm pretty sure the message of this movie is that suicide is good and not selfish and will solve all of your problems. Okay, we're back. If you paused it, now you're back with me. If you chose to listen to that spoiler, then I'd like to hear your thoughts on if that's what your takeaway from the movie was. But anyway, just a really, really bad movie. I don't like movies purposely making me feel dumb when I don't think it itself knows what it's trying to say. The performances were decent. The directing was decent. So I can only think that the stink of this movie comes from Blumhouse pushing its notes and its bullshit to try to, stay relevant in the horror world today, when there's much better companies doing it now, like Neon, which is kind of contradictory with what I'm about to say, because the next movie I'm going to talk about is The Monkey, which is put out by Neon Studios. This is Osgood Perkins' second film in a calendar year, and he has a third one coming out in September. So that means within a 14-month span, this man will have 3 movies coming out. And that leads me to my biggest problem with The Monkey. I did not like this movie. I'll be really brief on this one because I think Aaron has finally seen it and Josh saw it a while ago. So I think we may have a bigger, longer, deeper conversation about this just because it'll be fun for them to yell at me because for some reason they liked this movie. It's bad. Osgood Perkins has a problem with writing a movie that makes sense and that is cohesive and that let's talk about Longlegs. Let's talk about Perkins. Longlegs and The Monkey suffer from the same problem in that he didn't give enough and that this is evident in the time frame that they came out in. If he could spend maybe 14 months on one movie and really get it as, the Ghoulies made that prostitute sex worker in Ghoulies 4, if he could just make a script airtight, he's a great director. He just has a problem with writing a movie. The Longlegs, if it wasn't for Nicolas Cage's performance, which was great and I loved, and the only reason I liked that movie, if it was not for his performance in that movie, it would not have gotten distributed a wide release in theaters. B, no one would be talking about it, and C, no one would say they like that movie. The movie has black hole-sized plot holes. It makes no sense. It's convoluted. It's bad. It's boring. And Nicolas Cage is the only reason that I can see to watch that movie. I liked Perkins' first couple movies. I loved Black Coat's Daughter. I thought his Hansel and Gretel was decent. It was definitely, had the Perkins eye and tone and was spooky. He lost me with I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the Castle, I think it's called. It's a dumb name like that, which was dreadfully boring and not a good watch. I've tried to watch it a couple times. I've never made it through. Then you got Longlegs and The Monkey, which are middling to bad at best. The monkey, and I'll be real brief here and get off of it. If you want to just see a movie that has some fun kills and nothing else really going for it, then I guess that's fun. You kind of get sick of seeing bodies explode in the same way. Maybe by the fourth time, you're like, I get it, Perkins. Let's see what else you got. But it's kind of like if Final Destination were the main album, then the monkey kills are the B-sides of that album. Like, kind of good, but not up to snuff. And that's the problem with the monkey. Let's see. What else have I seen we can talk about? Companion. Companion is a movie that I saw in theaters, and I will really say nothing about this because you're best served knowing as little as possible. Go in blind if you can. I promise you'll have fun. This movie was a freaking blast. I watched the trailers beforehand, and they gave away a lot of the twists and plot points, to the point where I was actually kind of angry when I got out of seeing. I was like, wow, I wish I didn't know all those things happened. But even having said that, it was still a lot of fun. There's still enough under the surface that you're not expecting. A lot of fun reveals that would be worth your time, even if you've seen the trailer and maybe that turned you off of wanting to see it. Also, if you know everything about that movie, every twist, every plot point, if you read the Wikipedia page and you know everything about it, it's still worth watching just because it's such like a popcorn movie. It's why you would want to go to the theaters to see a movie. We saw it in a packed theater, and it was a blast. You know, that's why I still like going to see theaters. But I want to get it on 4K if it comes out in that format. Jack Quaid is great in it. He's kind of cornered the market on the dickhead boyfriend role in horror movies, and I'm loving it. So more of that, please. I'll look up the actress's name. She's from Yellow Jackets because I really want to give her a shout out. Sophie Thatcher. She's in Yellow Jackets. She plays the main gal in Companion, and she's fantastic in it. It's just a wild ride. It's produced by Zach Krager, who wrote and directed Barbarian, which was one of my favorite horror movies in the last 10 years probably. So kind of the same, like you don't know what you're expecting at any turn, and what you get is not what you were expecting unless you've seen the trailers again. And I like this Krager guy. He's produced he was involved with what was the other thing he just recently did? Can't think of it now, but I'm interested to see what he does as a producer and as a director. He seems to have a pretty good grasp on the horror world now, unlike Jason Blum, who's fallen to shit. So yeah, go see Companion. Check it out. A lot of fun. The Rule of Jenny Penn. This was a Shudder original, so if you have yourself a Shudder account, absolutely check this out. If you don't have a Shudder account, it's worth paying the $7 or a 7-day free trial just to watch it. Definitely a top tier Shudder original. Those can be a little hit or miss. This one is a blast as well. If for no other reason to watch this movie than if you just want to see John Lithgow just performing on 100 out of 10, all the way up, that's the movie for you. And who doesn't want to see John Lithgow just going absolutely fucking cuckoo bananas, playing a man in a retirement facility, an elderly care facility, who is just terrorizing all of the people who live, the residents of the community, in just really crazy ways. And it's a unique thing. It's good to see, elderly people being represented in the horror world, and not in like a shameful way. So check that one out. What next? I'll give you one or two more maybe. Let me look at my letterbox and see what we got here. We'll go through Bloom. So Bloom, Get Out, Megan, Cam was good, Hush was great from 2016. Ouija or Origin of Evil, Paranormal Activity. So yeah, I mean, in the early days, Blum was great. And now you get shit like the friggin', what is it, The Woman in the Yard. The Woman in the Yard, more like The Man on the Couch napping. That was my experience with it. I literally fell asleep during The Woman in the Yard because it was fucking boring. Do not see that movie. Do not spend $1 renting that movie. If you really want to watch it, wait till it's on, some Tubi or some free service like that. I watched a movie called Strings, also on Shudder. Not sure if it was a Shudder original. This was a rare movie that I did not finish. I got about, and it's a short movie, and I got about 20 minutes into it, and I turned it off. It's a queer horror film. I really want to be more of a champion of, I am a champion of queer horror movies. I think, there should be so many of them. I really want to back them. But the ones I've seen, that are considered, if you look up a list of queer horror, it is a big movement. But the ones I've seen, this movie Strings was boring as hell. It's, for the 25 minutes I saw, it's a woman sitting in a cabin making music on synthesizers for 25, and that is not in any way an exaggeration. There's barely any dialogue. I think she talks to a friend on the phone for maybe 5 minutes. The rest of it was her on sorry if that's a spoiler, but I don't even know what was queer about it, because I didn't make it that far, but it's on the list of these queer horror. And the other ones I've seen like that, under that umbrella, would be We Are All Going to the World's Fair and I Saw the TV Glow, which are both by the same writer-director, and I just thought they were so boring. They looked so cool. I wanted to like them, but I just, I get it. I get the allegories they're going for, showing the struggle of, living the life of an LGBTQ person in these days, which in and of itself is probably horrific, I'm sure. But just did not, translate to me on screen, and maybe because I'm a white, straight male, perhaps. Don't know. But just to me, boring. If anyone out there is listening that knows of some good ones, I would love to check them out. So hit us up at eatthebuckle@gmail.com or bucklepod@gmail.com and bucklepod@bluesky. This is where I need Aaron to rein me in on these kind of plugging our own podcast for you guys out there. I think we're getting close to the 20-minute mark, so that'll probably do it for this inaugural experimental episode. And maybe on weeks when someone's on vacation or we just can't do it, maybe I'll do more of these, or maybe we'll have a me and Josh episode, or me and Aaron episode, or a Josh and Aaron, or any combination, just when something like that comes up, so we can continue to get content out to you guys. But anyway, if you're out there listening, thank you for listening. We love you. Things are bad out there. Just, be nice to anyone you can be nice to, and be positive, and, watch a scary movie, because for me, it's very cathartic. I can watch these movies and be like, better times. I go to a better time, a better headspace when I'm watching people be brutally murdered than what's happening in our world today. So just be good to each other, and drop us a line at those Gmail and Blue Sky that I mentioned, and save some room for whenever we come back, because we promise you soon enough, you will once again eat the buckle.